Hey there guys, Dr. Dual Sport here. Today I'm riding up Ephraim Canyon. We're at junctions with Skyline Drive. This is part of the Ephraim trail system. I'm riding with my son Chris. Chris is on the KLR. I'm on the GS. Today we're going to stop off and visit my brother-in-law Darwin. He's a member of the Skyline Radio Club. They are hosting an event here where they have their radio set up and they're talking to people all over the United States and into Canada. It's a special event where they keep track of who they talk to and log it and see how many people they can talk to. So here we go.
One out for Utah, one out for Utah.
Copy, one out for Utah. 7-3, good work.
The call, one Alpha Utah, that's our designator. We've got one radio, Alpha, and from Utah. And the call sign is a club one, the K7BSK. So we send the signal out. Well, anyhow, depending on the band, we're working 80 meters, 40, 15.
Oh, that's me.
10.
Grab your
That's
I don't know where they are.
wavelengths of the frequencies, different ones. And this is HF. It goes without repeaters or anything. And what it is, this place in the United States and Canada, they'll call and they have their exchange, which is, I got my glass on. That does like 2 Alpha, North Dakota. There's his call sign. So you have to make contact with them, have to hear them at their exchange. What you get them ours.
What's that frequency right there? The 717?
7.176.
Yes,
Okay, that's on 40 meters.
that's 40
That's
meters.
40 meters.
I see.
Who's running the radio? Not me. Not my turn till 9. I only work in the day.
You're the night man.
But you can either call CQ on a frequency and see if anybody calls you,
I see.
or you can dial around and find somebody and then try contacting them.
Uh-huh. You can tell that they're on?
Yeah. Then you put it in, once you make a contact, then you log it in the computer.
Uh-huh.
And if you happen to get somebody you've already worked before, it'll pop up and tell you it's a duplicate.
I see.
You only can work them one time on each band. But you can work them, like 80 meters, 40 meters.
And is that a program that tells you that? Or
Yeah, that's a program.
who come up with the program?
I don't know that one.
Oh, I see. But somebody developed it.
Bravo Sierra Kilo. Kilo 7 Bravo
United States
Sierra
and
Kilo.
Canada is basically ones that are doing this.
Yeah, is it this day?
Kilo 7 Bravo Sierra Kilo.
Coordinated. This is where you just call out and see, write down everyone that you make contact with. Yeah, cool.
Then at the end of the contest, you send all this in and they total up your points.
I see.
But it's not a contest. But anyhow, you total up your points, so you get some more points.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you call it if it's not a contest.
Yeah. Pretty cool stuff, but I don't know anything about it. Chris has he has his amateur license that he got.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You need to be over there.
Yeah, you have to try that.
We'll get you over there.
All right.
Kilo 7 Bravo Sierra Kilo.
Yeah, we're headed north on the Skyline Drive. We're about 9.5 miles north of the Ephraim Canyon, where we came up there, and our plan is to make it over to Spring City Canyon, and then we'll go down. I'm not sure how far it is. This area here has lots of little boggity holes, and most years in the spring. This time it's almost impassable because of the mud bogs, you know. But this year, no snow, no rain, no moisture, and it's dry, so there's still got the little holes there, you know, you got to go through. So hasn't been too bad so far. Knock on wood. Huh? Anyway, that was interesting for Chris, especially to play around with the ham radio guys there. I'll have to have him explain more about it, what they were actually doing. But he says it's not a competition, but it's kind of a competition. It's an event where the ham radio operators all over the United States, or I don't know if it's just the United States or if it's well, I think he said these U.S. and Canada. But anyway, what they do is they listen, and you know, somebody will be calling out their call sign, then they'll say this is W74 Alpha Bravo whatever, and then they'll say CQ, you know. So they're like seeking someone to talk to. So then you'll report back to them. This is WD7 4 Alpha Charlie, you know, Utah, and so then they'll acknowledge you. And so what they do, they have a laptop there with a little program, you know, on the screen that keeps track of that. So they enter all of those call signs that they made contact with, and where they're from, and then, and I'm not sure if it's like a 2-day event or something. It's something like that. I gotta get out of that rut. Let's see. There. Got to get me some momentum. So I was trying to talk, and I wasn't working very well with my writing. But anyway, then they send in that report, and they kind of get ranked or whatever on how many they were able to contact with. But I guess right now it was really kind of miserable up there. It was really windy. We were right on the top of the ridge. We were about like 10,200 and something feet, and it was really just nasty windy. And then apparently right now there's lots of activity with the sunspots and the spots on the sun there or whatever, and so that affects the you know, the quality of your transmission or how far it carries or whatever. So it's some years it's just crystal clear as a bell, you know, talking to people all over the place. And then this year it was more difficult. Had to kind of fine tune on the guys. And okay, Beamer. But anyway, Chris had a fun time. They actually let him do that. He was with one other young guy there, and they were kind of working together, and they were able to get 6 acknowledgments there. So that was pretty fun for him. You know, he's like I said, Chris got his beginning amateur license last year. Anyway, they have a little dual channel receiver transmitter that you can buy handheld. They're made in China. Anyway, they're only about like what, 25 or 35 bucks. Anyway, Darwin has one of them, and maybe every one of them guys up there has one. Chris has one. Anyway, it's amazing how well they work, you know, for that being that inexpensive. So anyway, as we get home tonight, maybe about 8 o'clock tonight, Chris is gonna see if he can contact Darwin up on top of the mountain there, because there's actually repeater stations throughout the state that you know, they'll just catch your signal and then send it on, you know, so you can reach, I think from this area you can reach like quite a bit east, almost to Colorado probably, and then I know they said you could get up to Vernal, and then you can get west all the way to Nevada, so off of those repeaters. And then but whichever meter band they're on there, they're not using the repeaters. You can anyway, they can. I think Chris had talked to several people from California, and I think like in South Dakota, I forget what else, but anyway, it's fun for those guys. I've never really got into that or tried it myself, but I guess it's fun. Good, clean, fun little hobby. So yeah, I can see how these mud pits would be really tough if they were full of water. This road over through here is not really improved or maintained or anything. They're probably lucky if they ever drag a blade across there once a year or something. But there's no crushed gravel on it or anything. So anyway, it's nice being just off the ridge here now, because we're out of that wind, and that anyway, that wind was really terrible, really annoying. Oh my heavens, I don't know what we're doing here. That's not good. Off. Got a wee bit off camber there on the big old gal. Makes you wish you were on the little WR450 so you could just zip through them things. Yeah, the big old gal, you gotta be in control at all times, or you gotta be a more skilled rider than I am, that's for sure. Anyway, the mountain's dry. For June, it's dry. But it's good to be out riding, so hopefully don't hit a big old trench in the road. Looks like they've kind of gone around some here. That's a good thing. One thing we did learn today is you need to be prepared. When Chris got there, he just like hit his kill switch, didn't think anything about it, and so his bike was sitting there with the headlight on. Anyway, when we left, we tried to push it, and we didn't have a good downhill place to go, and we didn't have quite enough oomph to get her going fast enough. It like we got a chug out of it once, and then we were tired, so we pushed it back to the radio trailer there, and I had to pull off the seat, and we connected their battery to the bike battery and fired her up, and so then we just let her keep running till now. So I imagine it would probably start by now. It should be charged up. But yeah, and see, normally when you go on trips, you'll get ready, you get prepared, you'll have all the gear that you need in case you break down or something. I've got one of those little lithium battery packs that I'll throw it in this GS, because it'll even start a car, and but it's been all year and we've never had time to go for a bike ride yet, so we don't have our sheets together yet. Okay, this is Spring City Canyon, and I've been down it before. It's a pretty good road, so so we'll head down this way. I'll follow Chris down. Well, I'm glad I didn't tip over the big old GS. That ain't good when you tip them GS's over on their aluminum panniers. So I've been there, done that. Yeah, if I was ever, to do any kind of off-roading at all, I would never use the metal panniers. I'd, get some soft luggage on there. Then if you happen to go lay it over, you're not gonna rip off your pannier, and get it so you can't even carry it home. That would be a problem. But if you're just traveling down the road, you're going to pull into Motel 6 or Motel 8 or Motel 10 or Motel whatever, it's real easy. You can pull those panniers off in just a second, take them in your room. So, or if you're camping, you can take them off, use it for a table or a stool or a bench. So they, they got their pluses, but well, here's the view of the San Pete Valley, heading down to Spring City. Glad we're out of that wind. Well, ride along with us for as long as you want. I'm going to quit a yakking here and maybe concentrate a little more on the road. See if that works. Oh, one more thing. We did go by a snowbank, and you could get by it on the bike, okay, and I think you could get by it on the narrow side-by-sides, but I don't know. I don't think like a Jeep or a full size would make it by there unless you wanted to be ambitious enough to do some shoveling and stuff, to make it safe, because there's like a drop off on the other side, you know. But if it wasn't for very long, you know, it wouldn't, you know, it could be done. But normally, I think most years you can't make it along there, and then like those potholes are going to be all full of gooey mud, and it's hard to keep a heavy bike going straight through the gooey mud. And then if you have so much weight that if you have too much inertia, then it can really throw you for a wing ding, you know. This road seems to be pretty good thus far. Well, we made her down off the top. Now we just got to go on down the canyon. Be a few miles down to town. I forget how many, but anyway, things are going well. Had a good time today. Good day of riding. Got a little bit of variety of terrain. Some of it fun, most of it fun. Some of it not really so fun. I mean, you know, it's not really that fun to navigate through those dry mud bog bumps, but you know, you got to take the good with the bad, and it all averages out good. Glad we could get away today. Hope we can do it again soon. Get around the old switchback there. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for riding along with us today. Please like, subscribe, comment if you wish. This is Dr. Dual Sport signing out.
Thank you.